Welcome back to another week of What's for Dinner. So we are making some chili. So I've got half of a green pepper here and a small yellow onion. I'm just going to chop those up and set it to the side. To my pot here, I've got some petite diced tomatoes. I'm just going to throw those in. And then I also am going to add in 3 cans of the mixed beans from Walmart. These already have the chili sauce in them, and it has 3 different types of beans. I think it's kidney, pinto, and maybe black beans. I don't remember, but I know that I love getting these because it just makes things so easy, and there's already added flavor in the beans, so I just think it makes things really easy. Moving back over to the veggies, so I'm just going to saute these really quickly and get them just a little bit soft, and then I will add in my ground beef. Also to the side there, you can see that I have a big can of tomato sauce. I only needed a cup of that when I placed my grocery order. I don't know why a big can was ordered, but that was probably my mistake, honestly. But I just took what I needed out of that can, and then I froze the rest, and I can use that for a later date. So now we're going to come back over to my ground beef. I've still got, it's still got a little bit of time to cook through, but after it's done, I'm going to add this chili seasoning mix. And I'm telling you, this chili-o seasoning mix was so good. Usually when we have chili, I end up putting it in the freezer to eat it at a later date, but it was so good. We just kept wanting to have more things with it. So that's why I ended up making chili in this What's for Dinner 3 times, because we were just kind of using it up and actually wanting to eat it. So I have chili 3 different ways, but I'm just mixing that into my ground beef. You can see there's not very much grease in the beef. So I'm just going to add that to my pot with beans and everything. And I'm also going to add my tomato sauce, and it's already boiling, but I'm going to add everything in, and then I'm going to put it down to simmer. And I think I let this simmer for like almost an hour. Ideally, I would have liked to put this in the crock pot and let it cook all day, but my day just didn't quite go that way. So we just had to go this route instead, and it turned out absolutely delicious. Again, highly recommend that chili-o seasoning mix. The first night with this chili was a little bit thicker, so we ended up having chili dogs with it, and we had some corn on the side. The next night, we are having chili again, but I'm adding a cup of beef broth because it is pretty thick, but you can see it comes back together. I'm going to stir it up, and it just kind of comes back to life when you add that liquid. And we are going to make up some Frito pies. It's just another way to use up some chili. You could eat chili with just crackers, but you know, it's such a versatile thing that you can make it so many different ways. So chili dogs the first night, Frito pies the second night. So here's what it looks like. I added some cheese and sour cream on top. We had leftover corn from the night before, and we had some pineapple as well. This next night, we are making some tater tot casserole. I feel like this is more of a Midwest/Southern dish, but it is delicious, so highly recommend you try it. But I had some carrots in my fridge that were basically on their last leg, so I wanted to use them in any way that I can add veggies into dishes. I'm all for. Now I probably won't do this again because my family did complain. They were like, what is this in our tater tot casserole? And so it's kind of a fight to get them to actually eat it. But anyway, either way, I am just seasoning my ground beef, and then I'm going to let that cook. I also decided to try a new green bean recipe. So I've got 2 cans of green beans. I left the juices I added some soy sauce, some beef bouillon or beef broth, whatever you want. And then I think I added 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. I thought it was really good, but my family did not care for it. My husband said the soy sauce kind of made it weird, so I probably won't make it again, but gotta try some new things sometimes. Now that my ground beef is drained, I'm adding it back to the pan. I'm gonna add a can of cream of chicken, 1 can of cream of mushroom, and then I also add just a little bit of milk to help thin it out a little bit. And then I'm just going to let that simmer on the stove until it is heated through. Now that it is all bubbly, I'm going to add my secret ingredient. I don't think this is very popular with tater tot casserole, but I think that it makes it really delicious and my family loves it. So I am adding some slices of American cheese. So if you didn't have American cheese, I'm sure you could add like Velveeta or whatever, but the trick is the American cheese. I think it just gives it a really good flavor. It's kind of like a cheeseburger basically. And this dish is not at all meant to be healthy. So if you're here for healthy recipes, you're probably not going to find that here. We just, it's just one of those things that usually healthy meals are not as cheap. And so I'm all about budgeting around here. But anywho, I'm going to layer that. And then tater tots I cooked in the air fryer. Normally, this is something that most people make in the oven. But honestly, I find it easier just to do it this way. Then I don't have to turn on my oven and heat up my kitchen. And then I'm just going to top it with some shredded cheese and put the lid back on and let it just heat through. And then here's what it looked like. We are still eating on that corn and green beans and the tater tot casserole. This next night is kind of like an appetizer night. So I got some little smokies here. I decided to chop them in half just to make it easier for the baby to eat. So I'm just adding that to a saucepan. I'm going to add a little bit of soy sauce. And then just some barbecue sauce and just a little bit of salt. And I'm just going to heat that through on the stove. I'm also making stars. So I've got a pound of hot sausage here. It's kind of the secret to these stars is the hot sausage. And this is definitely something that people ask me to bring every place I go. It is so delicious. So highly recommend trying it. But you're just going to brown up your sausage. And then we're going to add a block of softened cream cheese and just incorporate that all together. And then you're also going to add a packet of ranch powder. And this is what is going to be our filling for our stars. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make our stars. So these wonton wraps are what you're going to use. You're just going to put them into the cupcake holders. And I like these silicone ones because it just makes it easier. And they're reusable, so I don't have to worry about having them on hand. And so anyway, these wonton wraps, you can find them in the section where they keep like the pre-made salad kits at Walmart. I kept wanting to go back and find them by the deli, but they are not back there. So that's where they keep them in my Walmart. They might keep them somewhere else at yours, but because I had a problem finding them, I wanted to share where they were at in my Walmart. And then I'm just taking a cookie scoop. I think this is like 1.5 tablespoons, and I'm just using it to scoop the mixture into these wonton wraps. I'm going to top it with some shredded cheese, and then I bake these at 400 for 8 minutes. And depending on your oven, you might have to do, you know, a minute or two less, a minute or two more. You just kind of want to watch until the wontons start to get a brown color. I am also making up some mac and cheese. So I've got some Velveeta here, some milk. I also season with salt and pepper. I have a more in-depth video of how I make my mac and cheese. It is in my 2022 Thanksgiving Cook With Me. I believe it might be in my 2023 as well. But I've made this so many times, so if you want like the actual in-depth of how to do it, just go back and watch those videos. But I'm just making up the cheese sauce, gonna add the macaroni, and then that is gonna be all done. So here's what everything looks like when it came together. Here are the stars. Again, highly recommend. Definitely one of our favorite things. And then here's our plate with the Smokies, the mac and cheese, and the stars. This dinner was so delicious, and my kids were very, very happy campers. So this last night, we still had some chili. So I was like, okay, I think this was Saturday actually. And usually Saturdays is the night where I kind of just figure out what we're going to have, just, you know, kind of based on what I can find in my fridge. And so I was like, what can I do with this chili so that it's something new, so it doesn't feel like we're having leftovers? I had went to Dollar Tree earlier and I got these Velveeta little cheese pouches. Probably not the best place to get them if you're trying to be cost effective, but I just grabbed them because I knew I had noodles in the pantry that I was going to use for mac and cheese. So I added 1 packet of it to my chili. And then I'm just going to boil up the rest of my elbow noodles that I didn't use for mac and cheese. And then I'm going to add that in, and we are having chili mac. And when I tell you this was so delicious, I was actually really surprised because I've made chili mac in the past and it wasn't our favorite. But I am convinced that it's because of that chili seasoning. It was just so good. So anyway, just going to mix that all together. And then I topped it with some sour cream, and all of this was gone. And we were able to use up this entire pot of chili. So yeah, that is going to be it for this week's What's for Dinner. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure and give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please subscribe. Other than that, I will see you in my next one. Bye.